What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Fly the plane. What are you doing?
Oh my God. I don't feel safe too.
Airline passenger mayhem is up, way up, and now you may just start seeing flight crews taking disorderly customers down. Flight attendants are being trained in close-quarter defensive skills to help combat a number of unruly passenger incidents in the age of COVID. Whatever happened to the friendly skies? And later, a Shark Tank star best known for asking tough questions to would-be entrepreneurs faced a grilling of his own in court. Mr. Wonderful himself, Kevin O'Leary, on the stand and defending his wife in a fatal boat crash. We're breaking it all down tonight. Welcome to Banfield. I'm Adrienne Bankert, in tonight for Ashley. Get this, in the first half of 2021 alone, the Federal Aviation Administration reports more than 3,000 unruly passenger incidents. More and more of us are flying again in the post-pandemic world, and increasingly we're seeing more and more of those incidents on our flights. Most of these disturbances stem from passengers failing to comply with mandatory mask rules, but many do elevate to the point of physical altercations. And now flight crews just may start using those close-quarter combat measures to take down unruly passengers. So why are frequent flyers frequently flying their fists? Let's talk about that right now with Peter Greenberg, travel editor for CBS News, Andrew Feldman, spokesperson for the Association of Flight Attendants, and self-defense expert Jennifer Cassetta. Thank you all for being with us. Jennifer, I'm really excited to talk to you because I've taken so much self-defense classes of my own. But Peter, you've been traveling for a long, long time. These classes were instrumental 20 years ago following 9/11, and now we've been seeing all this disruptive behavior happen for a while now. In all of your years of travel, would you say we're in a dangerous and the most frustrating time as ever for travel?
Well, we are, because those incidents that you mentioned are the highest and most concentrated number that we've ever seen. Over 3,000, as you reported. Over 1,900 of those 3,000 were because people refused to wear masks. But here's the interesting development. In a major part of those cases, what was the contributing factor? Alcohol. So you have passengers drunk, already on the plane and at altitude. Gee, what could go wrong? Well, everything can go wrong. And what you're seeing now, the TSA training flight attendants and self-defense techniques, this is not what we really had in mind in the post-9/11 world, other than worrying about terrorism. This is a different kind of terrorism, because once you're in a contained aluminum cylinder at altitude, pressurized with alcohol, anything can happen.
You know, you make a very good point there, Peter, and I want to talk to you, Andrew, about this. I mean, what really is the difference between a terrorist incident and an unruly passenger when it could pose a risk not only to the passengers nearby, but to the entire flight? What are flight attendants feeling? Was the goal to bring back these classes because COVID was under more control, or were flight attendants actually complaining, saying, listen, we need more protection?
Look, Adrienne, I think that these courses were always going to come back, right? They've been around since 2001. Actually, were put into place and passed in November of 2001. And we've supported them at the Association of Flight Attendants for a long time. And we actually think they should be mandatory. Right now, they're voluntary, but we do think they should be mandatory. And look, they're coming back right at the right time, because we are seeing unprecedented levels of, unruly passengers in the air. And, the reality is your flight attendants in that cabin are your first line of defense, are your first responders. So we need to make sure that these flight attendants feel safe in knowing how to control the situation. But that's what we're trained in. We're not just trained on how to give, a drink, a soft drink out, or some peanuts and pretzels. We are trained in how to keep the cockpit safe, how to keep that whole cylinder we were talking about a minute ago safe, and people getting to their destination in one place or another safely. The challenge here right now is that everyone coming off this pandemic is really at a 10, and that's what we're seeing in the air.
Yeah, but not everybody loses it on a flight. Not everybody gets violent, and this would require some professional assistance, some intervention. Jennifer, you are the expert in this self-defense. Is it realistic to expect that a 120-pound flight attendant or even a 200-pound flight attendant could take down somebody who is possibly inebriated, possibly having an episode that goes beyond normal mental health? I mean, especially in closed quarters like this.
Absolutely, Adrienne. I mean, first of all, there's so many things that lead up to a physical attack. Practicing situational awareness, being able to set boundaries, communicate them powerfully, de-escalate if possible, and then the physical self-defense comes in. And yes, it is my job to remind women, men, any gender, any race, any religion, anybody, that you are strong, you are powerful, and your body can be used as a weapon if needed.
Yeah, and you bring up another point that I love because I'm passionate about this story, and I'm so glad we're having this conversation. This could be something that we could unify with. You know, all of us getting onto planes again, want to be safe, want to go to the same destination, want to take off safely, and this kind of behavior that's disruptive on planes has to be taken so seriously. Andrew, there is a possibility you could be inviting even more punishment than you're already taking by getting physical, by having flight attendants who, again, are getting in the fray. Is this a lot to require of them?
Look, this is what they're prepared for every single day. These are people that I work with that are some of the most passionate people about these jobs, and they love what they do, and they're prepared for this. They're prepared for this. But no, look, people need to be safe on these planes. They need to remember that we're all trying to get to the next place safely and to be kind to one each other. We don't know what other people are dealing with, you know, when they get on these planes, what incidents they're dealing with, what do they have going on in their personal life, what do they have going on in their work. But we need to remember that we are in 30,000 feet up in the air in a tube. But let me tell you that these flight attendants, our folks that are in the skies, will make sure that our folks get on the ground safely. Everyone on that plane gets on the ground safely. And I've seen, these folks in work and the work that we do, and it's really impressive. But, we have to remember that this is not just tension we're seeing in the skies. We're getting a lot of attention right now because we're in a metal tube, but this is happening to frontline workers everywhere, in supermarkets, in all sorts of incidents, restaurants. It's because people are so tense on what this pandemic has done to them.
Peter, you're in Greece right now. I know you travel all over the world. In terms of this initiative and what Andrew is saying, that we're all under so much stress and that because of 2020, many people are on edge. What do you think about this? What is your expertise telling you or your instinct telling you?
Well, let me give you an idea of what's under consideration right now. I'm going to give you the NFL football analogy. At every major stadium in the United States, they stopped selling alcohol in the fourth quarter. And there's a reason for that. The same reason what we're talking about tonight. So now let's go back and take a look at the sequence of events that happens when you get to an airport. You can't get to a gate without a boarding pass. So what they're talking about now is if your boarding pass says that your flight leaves at 4 p.m., that if you go to any restaurant or retailer at the airport where they sell alcohol, they will stop selling you alcohol anytime after 3:15 p.m.
Wow.
Now, it hasn't been instituted yet, but it's under consideration because short of putting breathalyzers at jetways, how do you stop people from getting on the plane with alcohol? Right now, so many passengers are pre-gaming, if you will. They're sneaking alcohol onto the plane. I'm sure Andrew knows about this because I've been hearing in-flight announcements from the flight attendants saying no in-flight alcohol that you can bring on the plane is allowed, right? You already have Southwest Airlines stopping the alcohol service now, American not bringing it back until maybe September. So you have a situation here with short of putting those breathalyzers at the jetway, you can actually have an impact here where the retailers are not allowed to sell alcohol 45 minutes prior to what the boarding pass says. Now, I know what some people are thinking. What if your plane is delayed? That means nobody can have a drink at the airport? I'll give you the NFL analogy again. What happens if the game goes into overtime? They're still not going to sell the alcohol, and that's the difference that we have to apply here.
Well, it would be nice if we could apply some sporting rules because maybe there would be some fairness applied here. But Andrew, I haven't seen a lot of alcohol served, and Peter just mentioned a couple of airlines, but a lot of airlines have stopped serving alcohol completely. Is this something that's been considered, possibly going to be eliminated altogether, that we are going to see no alcohol on flights because of this kind of behavior?
Look, we're taking it one day at a time. Right now, this is the right thing to do. What we're saying is, look, if people behave on the flights, you'll get your alcohol back. We haven't seen that yet. And that's what we really are hoping for, right? And some people are saying, we've seen this in the air where some passengers say, hey, man, behave. I want to get my alcohol back. It is serving as a bit of a deterrent, and that's what is important here. But we really need to make sure folks need to remember to treat themselves like they would want to be treated in these situations. I mean, these flight attendants, the things that they put up with, it's
right.
just out of control. We've never seen anything like it, and they really are, our first line of defense in the sky. And I think people need to remember that.
The golden rule. Jennifer, I want to talk a little bit about the actual self-defense because of these, again, tiny cramped spaces on planes. But the moves, are they traditional? I mean, this is something that reminds me of what I did in college with my self-defense training.
What I'm seeing on those training videos, absolutely. I mean, these are basic self-defense moves where you're learning how to use parts of your body as weapons. And when you're in close quarters like that, you want to make sure that you're keeping everyone around you safe as well, but also you're doing the maximum amount of damage with the minimum amount of effort.
Mm-hmm. Poking people's eyes out is a frequent subject, and also kicking people between the legs, something that we've seen a lot, correct?
Eyes, throat, groin. Say it loud, say it proud. I always teach my students.
Say that again.
Go there first. Eyes, throat, groin.
The sensitive areas. Is the key
Yes.
to stun people, or is it to take aggressive passengers down?
Look, every situation is different, so it's so hard to just give black and white rules like that. You really have to be in touch with your intuition. That's the most important, right? The gift that we all have, our inner GPS that can read situations, that can read the people around you and scan for red flags and put like little bits of information together quicker than your logical brain can. And then it serves up this gift, this intuitive message, whether that's to duck, to move, to create space from this person, to call a flight attendant or get help or ask somebody next to you for help as well. So the flight attendants that I'm seeing are so brave, and I love watching them train in self-defense, but also as passengers, we need to be more alert. We need to be more aware as well of what's going on in our surroundings.
I'm almost thinking that passengers need to take these classes as well, because so many times they're being asked to kind of come in and help the flight attendants.
I am a firm believer that everyone can learn some self-defense, even just the basics. I've heard story after story how just one assertion, one hit, one something, one yell, using your voice in a powerful way can deter an attacker.
Well, I want to thank you, Jennifer, for being with us. I know you have someplace to be, and I know we're going to have another guest join us. So make sure to thank everybody who is taking your self-defense classes, because it's making everybody safer by doing that. Jennifer's online course, She Warrior Self-Defense. You want to check that out. And gentlemen, I know that you're going to be joining us when we come back. We're going to talk about how much it would cost passengers to try to fight for their right to go maskless on their next flight. And just when it looked like we might be getting rid of masks for good, of course, that number might be going up pretty soon instead. We'll be right back.